This is the Cash Considerations Podcast with three guys from Pittsburgh, Philly, and Boston talking sports. God help us all. This is the show. Take it away, Dave.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations Podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 25th. That was a very subdued point, but the show is starting right now. It's championship week. Oh, man, we got all these followers. We got all these listeners. We got all these viewers, people on the YouTube. Thank you. Go subscribe on the YouTube channel. Cash Considerations Podcast is how you find it. You'll find us, this show, the other show, 8 in the Box with me and B. Howe. But we're not talking about that. That's later. Right now, this show, Cash Considerations. It's me, Dave Sharapan, the Sportsbook Consigliere. For those of you watching on the YouTube, got a little LA look working, Rams hat, Dodgers jersey, and some fresh-ass glasses on today. We can all changing things up today. Boys, if you've been listening to the show, girls, you've been listening to the show. We got people in South Carolina. He's back. We got people showing up, usually in Eagles gear, all, relaxed out. Things are changing. Things are changing. It's championship week, okay? First, back. Up north, in the cold, getting ready to shuffle that driveway for that storm that's coming. He ain't in South Carolina no more. He is Carl Hascall, the coordinating producer, the social media guy, the email guy, cashconsidshow@gmail.com, and obviously co-host of the show. Bundled up a little bit, Carl Hascall, CH. How you doing?
How are you? How you doing? Getting ready. Been back for 3 days, and we're getting a foot of snow this weekend. I've already had enough.
Lucky. Welcome back. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll play a little game here for the people watching on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to kind of participate and put some comments in the comment section. That helps you get involved in the show. When you put that hood up, you look like the Unabomber guy, actually. So maybe
grab my sunglasses.
Yeah, go get those too. So we'll play a little game with that. If you watch the show, put who you think we look like, because we're going to do that. Who this guy looks like? Huh. He's up in Philadelphia, but he's got a game tonight. I don't mean he's playing. He's going to announce the game. He's going to be on the sideline. I'm going to let him tell you exactly where and for who. But he's all dressed up. This boy cleans up better than anybody in the game. Hair slicked back. CH looks like Unabomber. I said before the show started, you look like Gordon Gecko. He is Dan Alexander. They call him on the Twitter, @NewbieTalks on the Twitter, doing all these other shows, the executive producer of our show, and obviously the co-host, and the glue guy here on the Cash Considerations Podcast. Newbie, I know we got a short window to get this show done and in the can, but how you feeling right now, sir? You good?
I'm doing great. Looking good, feeling good, shaved up, got shaped up, got a game tonight. My partner, he's in COVID protocol, so they're calling me off the bench. No more just sitting back and doing the color. They're throwing me right in there. It'll be play-by-play tonight. So looking forward to it. Happy to be here with you. And it was funny, before we were hopping on the show, say CH looks like Unabomber. What were you saying about Dave's look? Because he's got the Joe Burrow glasses on. You were getting some different vibes.
I do. And I just had to look up some pictures just to make sure I had the right guy. Dave, if you take your hat off for a second, yes, sir. I'm pretty sure you're Johnny Ola from The Godfather. There's almost no doubt in my mind. Unbelievable. Almost no doubt in my mind.
That is
You work with Hyman Roth?
Nobody asked who gave the order. Nobody asked who gave the order.
Oh, man. It's January. It's near the end of January, and we're just celebrating Halloween on the Cash Considerations episode.
Excellent work.
We're heading into conference championship weekend.
I kind of decided I was going to start dressing based on my picks from the prior week. So right now I look like a homeless guy. So
should I be like Antonio Brown? I should be clothesless since I went 0-4 last week. Is that how we should be doing it?
We get you one of them barrels to wear.
Yeah. That's next.
To crash. Don't know.
It's all going bad. Crypto's going bad. The stock market's going bad. Everybody's picks went bad. Unless you had the over Sunday night, which an incredible football game, and it flew over the total. we'll get to all that here in a second. The format of the show is going to be simple. We're going to just spin it around a couple of the sports. We're in the championship week. There's only 2 games left to talk about, but we're going to go in the gun. We're going to have to, talk to Cousin Cooter. I don't know what we're going to do with Cousin Cooter and one side, one total, one prop, or one total, one side, one prop. Whatever order you say it, we got to do it. It's the last week of the season until there's 1 game left, obviously, and it's the Super Bowl. And we're going to have, some shows for the Super Bowl. We may, see if we can fit in. In years past, we've done a show daily, Super Bowl week. That may be a bit much to ask. We can see if we can maybe do that. But I think we'll be able to maybe fit it in the schedule for the 3 of us to at least get together and bring it to the people, for the people. This is the show. All right? First order of business. I'm wearing the Dodger jersey today, little throwback with the red number. Mike Piazza on the back, number 31, Dodgers. MLB Hall of Fame Day. We'll get to that in a second. They're talking. CH, good, bad, indifferent.
Oh, I thought you said Hall of Fame. I thought we were going to talk good stuff about the Hall of Fame, but we can get to that maybe
We're going
afterwards.
to get to that in a second. Are
right.
you excited
yeah,
that they're talking? Are you starting to look at futures? Are you starting to even think about betting on baseball yet as you come back from down south into the cold?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm glad they're talking. They're starting to run out of time, and I think they're a little bit apart still. Some of the, what I was reading today about service time for free agency and stuff like that. I think they're going to get hung up on that, but I'm glad they're at least talking. So it's progress from last week.
Fair. I don't know what progress as far as we've made as far as the Hall of Fame. Okay. And we've got multi-generationals here. I mean, me and you are a little older. Newbie's our young buck. He's our gun from the Buckhead Studios. Newbie, should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame at this point?
I mean, what isn't it's now Major League Baseball brought to you by gambling. So Pete Rose can't be in, but everybody has an affiliate code. Everybody has their sponsor. It's Phillies brought to you by DraftKings. But the dude who, just bet on games, was just making some extra money since they didn't pay him dick fur back in the day. The stats speak for themselves, Dave. I've long, even before I was in the gambling space, said it's such a hypocrisy to not give Pete Rose a nod, but I guess to keep the sanctity of baseball intact, whatever the hell that is, they got to keep him out. But, the statistics speak for themselves, in my opinion.
Drives me crazy. And like at this point, I mean, there's going to be a sports book in the ballparks, like right.
Yep.
He could have ran upstairs and put a 3-teamer in and played the hits prop over.
Yeah, just run up there, get it in. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have to go in a uniform, but like I remember going back into the clubhouses when I was interning and then working as a sports producer in Pittsburgh. The first sign you saw when you walked in was there's no gambling. I mean, it had to be said. It had to be told. But now they're partners. Everybody's in. Yep. And that's one Hall of Fame discussion. The other one, I'm going to go right to CH because, it involves some Boston people. Roger Clemens, big part of your life, watching baseball.
Oh, yeah.
And, from the past episodes and a lot of visits to the Carl's Corner, which we'll get to here at the end of the show, one of a lot of listeners' favorite segments of the show. Apparently some other shows' favorite segment of the show as well, but they may have not called it Corner, Carl's Corner. There's some other things there. Anyhow, David Ortiz, he's up for Hall of Fame. First time. Roger Clemens last time. Your Boston guys getting in today, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think Ortiz is going to be the only one to get in. I've been watching this Ryan Thibodeau, who I've been following for years, does the Hall of Fame tracker that I can, every year once we get past January 1st, I can start following. He keeps track of everything. And so far, with half of the votes tallied, looks like Ortiz is going to get in. He's at like 85%.
A first ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot
Hall of Fame. DH.
Yep, pretty much. I think he's in. We're going to find out. I think it's this afternoon. It's pretty shortly here. We're going to find out. So I think he gets in. I don't think Clemens gets in. Both he and Bonds are right on the borderline. And from what historically, there tends to be a big drop off when the anonymous ballots come out or when the final ballots come out. And they're both on target at about a little over 75%, Bonds and Clemens, but I think they're going to see a drop-off this afternoon. They're not going to get him.
You got a problem with that? Like, time heals all wounds. I don't know if guys are in or out. I talked about it today ad nauseum with Peralt on Bostonian versus the book. And he has his feet in his sand a little bit about, look, they cheated, they this, they that, they can't get in. I mean, I don't know if I'm just older, don't care. Like Barry Bonds don't care whether he's in the Hall of Fame. Like his family will, and he will at some point, but he don't now. He didn't care about any of that shit when he played. He didn't take steroids to get in the Hall of Fame. It's steroids to keep his limbs loose and hit the ball further when it hit his bat. Like, so you don't think about the Hall of Fame maybe while you're playing. But now that it's post-playing, it's a hell of a thing to be a Hall of Famer, just personally. Do you want to keep all these steroid guys out? I think Clemens wants to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I do too. And the sad thing for me is before these guys really blew themselves up, I mean, you look at Bonds in a Pirates uniform versus a Giants uniform, right? I mean, there's a stark contrast there between.
Almost looks like a different guy.
Yeah, it's a different guy. Same thing with Clemens. Clemens, when he came up, he was always a big, stocky guy, but he got really big in Toronto and in New York.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think if you got caught, I don't think you should get in. That's my opinion. I think when they started testing and they were testing everybody and people got caught and people got suspended, those are the people that should be kept out.
Newbie, care who gets in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, the older that I get, Hall of Fame means less and less and less to me across all sports because you're having conversations on guys who are fringe, who people are going to the bat for, and then they end up getting in. So honestly, Hall of Fames, I think they're cool when you go to them. I think it's cool to see the history, like the actual physical brick and mortar place is awesome. You know, I got to go to Canton. It was an incredible place, but just what a Hall of Famer as a whole means, I just don't think it means as much now. And, you know, I think that probably trying to keep some of these steroid guys out is a way to kind of still have it mean something, have it have some standing, but, you know, not to devolve. You know, if somebody does get into the Hall of Fame, that's a lifelong accomplishment. They should be happy about it. Just me as a fan, and especially in baseball as more of a peripheral fan, I could care less who ends up getting to the Hall of Fame. It's a big debate. There's people, they should lose their ballot when they put this guy in. I don't care. It's all subjective, man. So that's just Hall of Fames don't really mean much to me. I think we all have in our own mind our own Hall of Famers, and that's really where the conversations come from anyways, as opposed to just, you know, being enshrined in a different spot.
Canton was spectacular. That's the only Hall of Fame I've ever been to. You've been there as well.
Yeah.
CH, have you ever been to any of the other Hall of Fames?
Yeah, I've been to Cooperstown either 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, it's you know, you go into a museum, and we've got museums in every city, right? And you go in there, and it's kind of quiet, and everybody's, you know, being respectful of what's going on, and people learn. You go into the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's like Mecca, you know, especially for a big fan. It's just it's a hush over the entire place. You can feel the, you know, 120 years of history in there.
The Football Hall of Fame is very interactive when I went. I mean, there was some great NFL films exhibits, and you get to sit and watch this stuff. I loved it. I highly recommend it for our friends anywhere, you know, in the Midwest there. Take a trip to Canton. You won't be sorry you did. I can't wait to get to Cooperstown. And someday I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to see the Hockey Hall of Fame. I cannot wait. It's one of those things that, you know, will wrap around, hopefully, trip to either a Maple Leaf game or a Blue Jay game or something. Our friends up north. Maybe we'll do a show up there. We love Canada. We got a lot of listeners.
Not during winter, though.
No. Summer only.
CH and I have enough cold that we're dealing with.
This is as far north as I'm ever going again, is where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, we'll go in the summertime, boys. We ain't going in the winter. Hell no. We're talking about baseball. That's enough baseball talk, bro. NHL, quick discussion. CH, in the notes, by the way, you put in a little note, a positive information for the Philadelphia Flyers. Can you mention it to the people? Because you really can't find too much positive to talk about for the Philadelphia hockey team.
That's true. I don't have the standings up in front of me, but I think the Flyers are in like 13th place in the conference.
They're not
right
in
now.
The playoffs if the season
They are
ends.
not in the playoffs, and they have a long way to go. But
Yes.
tonight, Keith Yandel is going to break the Ironman record for consecutive games played in the NHL. He's going to play his 965th game. He hasn't missed a game in 13 years.
Wow.
How is it possible that nobody knew about this until today?
That's unbelievable.
I'll be honest with you, CH. Just shows you how much I pay attention to Flyers. I didn't even know that he was still on the team. So that tells you everything you need to know. Iron Man, baby, let's go. That's a lot of wherewithal, losing all those games.
That's a boy showing up for work, though. I mean, that's a hell of an accomplishment, period. It's harder, so much harder when you lose. Like, you just got to keep coming to work and doing your thing. It's impressive. It's another little lesson in life. So, we're doing that. We're spewing out life advice as well and all these different things and, venues. I'm telling Tom Brady today on the Twitter, people, you got to be careful what you wish for. You want to stop playing football and you start doing pick up and drop off and you get in the wrong lane for the kids. I did just mention it. How did that happen?
You didn't even know it happened. Like, truly, we've been infected.
I can't tell you how upset I am that we missed that week a few weeks back. I can't even tell you. I didn't even care about that streak.
Keith Yandel showed up for work in a hockey team for getting hit all these times on his streak. We can't even remember 1 week to mention Tom Brady when we do it every day for a year. Really dropped the ball on that shit. God, I can't believe it.
That's my
All
bad.
right, the other hockey talk before we go is the Penguins are 16-2 in their last 18. 11 of those wins have been on the puck line, CH. Is that right?
On the puck line. Yeah, on the puck line. 11 out of – it's not even the 18 wins, out of 18 games. So 11 out of the 16 wins and 11 of the 18 games total, because they had 2 losses in there.
Yeah.
For more than a goal and a half. 61%. Not too bad.
You're always looking for actionable information, and there's all kind of places you can go to get it. You get the fun, you get the entertainment, and you get these little nuggets of information, actionable info, even in the 2-minute pulling the goalie segment on the NHL, which, by the way, is now done. That's it. The game's over. We're not playing no overtime. Speaking of overtime, we'll get to that in a second. Holy shit, what a shitstorm that is. Talking about changing the rules right in the middle of the stream. Everybody got to touch the ball like it's kids' games and stuff like that. Coin flips, all that other shit. We'll get to that. We'll visit that in a second. All right, before we do get to NBA, because we're going to get to the NBA, I wanted to mention the Book It Sports app. If you love the sports bet, listen up. The Book It Sports app is here to help make your sports betting experience a breeze. Whether you're looking to talk shop, purchase picks, or simply need an app to keep track of all of your action, Book It Sports is the app for you. In sports betting, transparency is key, and with the all-new Book It Sports betting score, you can easily separate the contenders from the pretenders. What are you waiting for? Download Book It Sports today for free in the Google Play and Apple App stores, and prove to your friends why you're the better. You got to be crazy. Are you paying attention what Trent's doing? Book It with Trent, at Book It with Trent. He's all over the place. He's doing these surgical streams. Somebody's going to have to put the paddles on that boy because he ain't hitting shit. I mean, there's a lot of – he keeps doing 5 games, 6 games. Man, clear. Just do 3. Just do a 3-game parlay. That's fine.
Picking one game is hard enough, Dave. Picking one fucking game is hard enough. And they all want to parlay it together, get these crazy play. Just go buy a scratch off at that point. Why not? You got about as good of odds.
It's really hard. It's
entertaining, though, I will say.
It's very entertaining. And part of this stuff is entertainment, but at some point the money runs out. Like, you got to win a little bit. Like, yeah. I say all the time, nobody knows shit. Somebody got to win. I mean, you got to stay alive. It's the churn. You got to keep playing the game. Speaking of playing the games, who's playing the games? Oh, my God. First of all, I heard that James Harden wants out of Brooklyn. What? You ain't been in Brooklyn long enough to want out of Brooklyn. What's the matter? You ain't getting the ball enough? You ain't shooting enough? They changed the rules on you? You ain't calling the fouls? All of that notwithstanding, hashtag anybody but the Nets is alive and well. KD's out. Now Harden wants out. But the problem, I heard it. It's in the notes. I didn't know this until I saw it in the notes. James Harden's talking about going places. Newbie, What place would he want to go to? I mean, is this for real? Can he? I don't know if he knows if he's ready to for this place. Like, well, I can't think of it. I can't think.
If you're having trouble remembering, you just have to put your ear to the conch, and you just hear it.
Turn it up.
He wants to go to the
Let's go. Oh. Play it long.
I keep wanting to turn it down, and I can't. It just feels too good.
Can't stop.
I was a little bit hesitant. I'm sure you could tell about playing the song. Because 33-year-old James Harden, Mr. I always need greener pastures.
We don't want him.
The issue is we're going to hold out for this guy.
No,
you're going to waste another season of Joel Embiid going MVP status. I wanted to save the song for MVP because he's not going to win the award. He'll never win the award. They say fuck Joel every chance they can. Over the past week, he scored over 40 points, like it was averaging just about 40 points per game. He still wasn't player of the week. Not that that matters or whatever, but they're always looking to shortchange Joel Embiid. Since December 20th, the Sixers have played 15, 16 games, something like that. He has scored under 30 points twice.
That's it.
2 times. And everybody, he rests too much. He takes off every night.
Bullshit.
He's dispelling every myth and everything that you can dislike about Joel Embiid, and he's still got a pretty healthy plus price at being the MVP. They're not going to give it to him. They're going to fuck him over again. They're going to give it to whoever the hell, runs up at the end of the year and a narrative that they have. But what Joel Embiid is doing has actually become devalued because of how easy it is for him to do it. Because he is such a dominant player, when he scores under 30 points per game, people are like, oh, what an off night for Embiid. Where everybody else, it's what an incredible night. Since December, and this is the last thing I'll have on Embiid, since Christmas, 34.1 points per game, 10.5 rebounds per game, 56% from the field, and he's shooting 41% from three-point land. That's a 7-foot player doing those kind of numbers, Dave. I don't get how everybody doesn't stop what they're doing and watch this dude when he's playing on the court, whether it's against the Magic, whether it's against any team. This is must-watch stuff, and this is dominance that we haven't seen since Shaquille O'Neal in the paint.
Maybe.
You guys would know better than me, but
maybe.
I haven't seen this happen, and I'm always looking to give him credit, but I mean, I feel like I'm not just fanboying on this one. This is a pretty incredible run he's on.
The move on the FanDuel Sportsbook app has gone from he was around, 20 or 30 to 1. He's 4 to 1 this morning to win the MVP.
Wow.
Like, this shit is real. It's time. If you missed it, it's probably too late, but he should win it. And all them things that they shoot holes in all the arguments, right? Oh, he don't play enough minutes. He's playing enough minutes. He don't shoot the three. He shoots the three, shoot 41%. Like, the Sixers just got to win more games. They keep blowing these games, and that's the problem why he won't get the votes, which is bullshit. But everybody that knows shit won't vote for him because he's not on the winning team. They got to get that 3 seed, dudes. I'm a little worried if they don't. They got to avoid the 1-2. We don't need to play Brooklyn or Milwaukee in the first round. We got to win that first round. Come on.
Well, and the issue is, I think this is even more of an indictment on how poorly Morey is playing this situation. Like, Embiid is giving you all the tools to say, get this dude someone else who can contribute. They're not losing the games because Joel Embiid's not scoring 50 points. Like, what do we want him to score 70 points so they can win the game? They're losing the games because there is little to no help elsewhere other than Tyrese Maxey, who's got a terrific story as well. Yeah. But, Tobias Harris, you're not getting him living up to his contract. So, and I hate going a little bit long on people who couldn't give a fuck about the Sixers, but, this is more of an NBA-style discussion where narratives really end up driving what ends up happening in the NBA, and that's how the league is.
That's why I hate a book in these markets because it's not always goes to the best person for the job, or the best person for the award. And so Yeah, we're talking about basketball. I mean, this is our show. So if you don't listen on 1.5. Fast forward. You can advance the thing right on the YouTube.
Look at the timestamps. You can just say, oh, NBA. They talked about NBA for 8 minutes. Fuck
advance.
that.
That's it. Yes, because you don't want to miss the In the Gun segment that's coming up or Carl's Corner. So you can just advance that right away. Plus, I mean, you look so good today, newbie, with the tie on. I mean, people
got the flowers on, the green.
Yeah.
CH is kind of showing me up, though, a little bit with the.
He is, no, he's got the casual look right there.
I didn't even notice. I even got a rip in the collar over here. Of the
it's tremendous.
Your
trendsetter.
Yeah, he's Belichick.
Very much so.
You know what? I'm even wearing the casual pants today.
Oh, hello. This is how you work right here. Forget about that. This guy's doing it all. Speaking of doing it all, put it in the notes. Hashtag AnybodyButTheNets and the Lakers. These two teams play each other today. The Lakers are playing Brooklyn. The Lakers are favored by 3.5 because apparently Kyrie can't play at home. KD got something with the knee. They're leaving Harden out to dry. We just talked about Harden coming to the Sixers. Ain't nobody want to see that. Please, even them Sixer fans, you ain't buying a championship. You're buying that beard and the headaches and all that other bullshit and somebody to take away the ball from JoJo. I need somebody that's going to get Embiid the ball more and be ready when he kicks it back out. I don't want Harden dribbling it out, sitting 20 seconds, having JoJo go from one box to the other. I don't need all that shit. But this Lakers-Brooklyn matchup, our boy K-Dub shouted out the show on the Sirius XM 159 with Donnie and Kevin. And we're going to bring them back, obviously, because they're Philly guys, Philly fans. But Kevin's in New York. We talk about it all the time. We talk about the show. Talked about you and this Brooklyn. I want to say, I don't know if it's hate. It's just strong dislike. Do you think that Brooklyn is going to win the East as of right now? You do not.
Who are you asking? You asking me?
I'm asking you, CH.
Okay. No, I don't think they are.
Are the Lakers going to make the playoffs?
Are the Lakers going to make the playoffs? When's AD going to be back?
He's supposed to come back tonight, which is why they're 3.5, which is completely ridiculous. The Lakers are, as you put in the notes, 5-5 in their last 10. And that was without AD. Guy comes back, shows up. We don't know what we're getting. I hated this thing as a betting opportunity, going like, oh, this guy's coming back. I used to hear people come to the counter all the time. People talk on shows. AD's back. Lakers are to play. Lakers aren't to play tonight. Lakers may not be to play, period, to even – I'm asking you. I got all this LA stuff on. Lakers going to make the playoffs. Maybe the play-in. I'll give you the play-in. They're not going to be 1 through 6.
No, they're going to be 7 to 10 somewhere, I think. And last year, you remember last year, LeBron was saying we don't care if we play in the play-in game.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, well, it's not going to work out this year. I can tell you that. They might even lose in the play-in game. And by the way, I hope they both lose tonight. I don't know how the hell that's possible, but I really do hope they both. Can we figure that out?
Hashtag neither team wins tonight in Brooklyn. Last bit of mention here before we move on to the football. The Phoenix Suns are the best team in basketball. Steph can't hit the ocean right now with shots. Golden State's winning a lot of close games. Memphis is still riding pretty good the way they've been going. The Western Conference is crazy. It's really good. The East is starting to shape up a little bit too. Cleveland Cavaliers are not going away. First team to go over their season win total. Cleveland Cavaliers over 27.5. It's pretty good. But the Phoenix Suns are the best team in basketball, and their future odds reflect as such. They're 3.5 games ahead of the next best team in the league, Golden State, and they're only the third favorite to win a championship because of hashtag AnybodyButTheNets and everybody betting the Nets. The Warriors are plus 475. The Suns are down to 6-1. You can still get around 750. Something to keep in mind. I know people don't like to tie up the money. Newbie, do you ever buy futures?
It depends. Like a lot of the time, it's more just, hey, let me sprinkle on this so I have, some live fun if I have a little bit of extra cash or whatever. But, I talk about it all the time. Like if you're actually, trying to make money in and out every day, I just hate tying up my money for the whole entire season unless it's an incredible plus price. Like we were just talking about, Embiid and losing out on the value, is tying up some money for a 20-1 odds worth it? Hell yeah, it is. At 4-1, is it as worth it? You kind of just got to weigh your opportunities. But I always think it's fun when you do have, I probably sprinkle on some of those, long shot tickets. You guys know we joked all about it. We had the Carson Wentz MVP ticket.
That was fun.
$50 to win $1,500. And, I was joking about Trent. Why not just go buy a lottery ticket? I should have just fucking donated my money or lit it on fire instead of putting $50 on that. So I think they're fun to talk about. They're fun to hit. But as far as, the value in them, unless you're finding something that's really advantageous, I think it's more just, oh, look at this. You get to screenshot it and brag about your hit on Twitter is more than anything,
It's fun as it gets closer. Like
Yeah.
I've had the Lightning to win the Stanley Cup the last couple of years. I mean, but I don't buy them until May, till I know that we're going to be, where we're at, who we're playing against. I hate buying this stuff way in advance, but we've had guys on the show. We called him K-Dub on the show. He was a professional. He's at KW_odds. Had gamble balls on Zach. They have a zillion futures. They buy multiple teams and tie up money, and then they're working in between. So, I mean, CH, have you ever bought a future? And so you do it, right? I mean,
Very rarely.
Okay.
Very rarely. So I'll tell you what I did this year, and I never brought it up on the show because I was afraid of jinxing it. And now that it's over, I can say it. At the end of last year, remember all the stories about the guys flying all over the country and betting on Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl because they were anticipating Brady going there?
Yeah.
I did the same thing with the Patriots at the end of the season over the summer, thinking they were going to go and trade for that quarterback who didn't play at all in Houston this year. I thought that's what was going to happen. And if he came here and Hunter Henry came here, I thought there was going to be a legit shot. So I did have the Patriots at 35-1. To pay out almost $4,500. So I sat on that all year, and that's really the only one I had that I really was sweating. Usually I'll sprinkle something here and there.
I mean, and Dave, I've told you before, my big future hit ever was Joe Burrow. I mean, that's why I absolutely love the dude because it was getting late in the season when LSU was looking legit, and he was the Heisman, and God damn those guys. I think I got to get a pair of those Johnny Olis James because that is fucking nice. But it was like late in the season, and they were still, I think it was like 8-1, 9-1, something like that. And this was at the point when they had already beaten Alabama in the year. So that's why I have an undying love and allegiance to Joe Burrow, and I fucking am kicking myself because I keep overthinking these games. We'll talk about it when we go in the gun. I knew I should have just rolled with Burrow the whole entire offseason just because of how fucking fun it is, and I overthink myself. I listen to the narratives. We'll get to that in the gun, but anytime people talk futures, I just maybe I have a new sound. The sound that was retired for Carson Wentz, and we roll that on over to Joe Burrow because there's a budgeting love affair.
I like it. All right. Well, good discussion, boys. Excellent work. Before we get to in the gun, I just want to mention East Coast Sports Investors, our friend Jeff Dawson. Been talking to JD, did the breakfast bankroll last week. We're going to probably try to do it again before the playoffs end here, talk about different things, college basketball, all these things. He's got the #1 ranked sports investors in the world, according to Google, first page. And he's got 30-plus years of sports wagering experience. Perfect time to meet the ECSI family is right now. You have both, the end of the football season here, but you've got NBA, NHL, college basketball. Golf season has officially started for him, starting to really look at stuff and give out plays when they show up. But the best part about Jeff is that when there are no plays, he'll send you an email and say, hey, there's no plays. There's nothing today. Or I got one thing. It's pizza money. Just for action. If you like it, do it, but it's not really strong. Gives you the good, plays when he plays, play when you don't, and just sit and watch. But if you have any other questions, ask the real Vegas Dave. No, not that guy, not the GOAT, who's out giving out all these whale plays over the weekend, apparently. Gave out both sides of the game. Cincinnati, Tennessee. There's been some things about that. We'll get to that later. We're not going to worry about that. He said, ask me, Mr. Sharapan. No iron team, just win and profit. And that's the East Coast Sports Investors, Jeff Dawson at ECSI Sports Invest. You can find him, www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. All right, newbie, we got to go there. There's 2 games left. Take us there.
Oh, that's right, Dave. Because Cooter ain't never won a tie before. This thing's fucking time, man. shit! It's time for action! Yeah! Yeah! And it's the most brute football segment this year. Let's go. Only 2 games, baby. I can't believe we're rolling to the end. And got a game for basketball I'm doing play-by-play for. So after screaming that out, I'm going to have no fucking voice to that. So that should be going very well this evening. As far as in the gun last week, it was, I believe, the first week all season. I go a resounding over 0.0% in the gun. And my fucking mouth is dry as hell from all the chalk that I ate. I roll with all the favorites except the one dog that loses when they were up with 13 seconds left. All I know is thank the Lord in heaven above for teasers. Because the teasers covered, I didn't care if they were wrong, if they weren't. The 8.5 with the Rams, the 8.5 with the Bills was the saving grace for me in what was a steaming pile of football this weekend. So nice by me. I came with all these stats, these trends and shit, and guess what? Nobody knows shit. Except for CH and Dave, who knew shit at least about one game. They went 1-3. So I think alone, before we start getting into the Chiefs taking on Cincinnati and the Rams taking on the 49ers, it's the 4 teams we all knew were going to be here at the end, right? This is what we all drew up. Joe Burrow versus Mahomes and Garoppolo versus Stafford. We all knew this was going to be what happens. But I think, everybody's already done the postmortem on this past weekend. Dave, you and Peralt on Bostonian versus the Book had one of the most epic arguments of all time about overtime. All of those shows are archived. Go check them out on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Well worth checking out that for that discussion alone, and the hats every day that you guys are rocking. Just beautiful stuff. But the overtime discussion, man, you were heated, Dave. So, like, what gets you so frustrated about the overtime rules? Is it more just, time and place now because it was such a high-profile thing? Everybody's bitching. Everybody's got an idea on how to fix overtime. Or is it just, participation trophy time where everybody's got to touch the ball? Like your thoughts on this whole overtime thing, because I feel like everybody's had their hot take on this.
So now you're going to have the argument, and now you want to change the rule. People have been talking about changing the rules, but nobody's changing the rule.
And the Chiefs, for what it's worth, put in a bid to change the rules in 2019. And
when it affected them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, change the rule to make the game better. Don't change the rule because it didn't benefit you. Like, that's my thing. And, yes, it was an unbelievable football game, and God damn it, I wanted to see Josh Allen keep playing. Hell yeah. All the defense had to do was stop them with 13 seconds to go. And they wouldn't have had to play overtime. Like, they would have won the game. So defense is part of the game. If you lose the coin flip, make a stop. You got 3 downs to stop them. If they don't, they get a first down. You got 3 more to stop them. It's not like they start with the ball in the college playoff overtime or college overtime on the 25, and 1 first down means they're going to score. Defense is part of the game. And I think the thing that Matt was saying that was driving me crazy was like, it's not fair that the other quarterback and the other offense doesn't get the ball. It's not, but that's the rule. So you want to change the rule? Make it a 15-minute quarter. Play another, only in the playoffs. I think the playoffs has to be different than the regular season. But in the playoffs, just like hockey, you put up another period, you put the same amount of time on it, you play it out. In hockey, you can play on for periods. I've been to games that have been 4 overtimes. You're falling asleep in the stands, but these guys are giving their hearts. That's fine. That's keeping the game the game. If you want to give both teams, play 15 minutes at the end of that, like soccer. If it's still tied, now we got to do something. All right, now it's 10 minutes. Next score wins. That's it. It's next score wins. You have to play sudden death at some point. So, guy didn't get to touch the ball, and now you're going to bring it up. I don't want to talk about that. I want to celebrate the game. I don't want to bitch about what's wrong. That's why he was getting me so aggravated. I mean, I'm good with it the way it is now. Would it be better? Of course. I think playing a full quarter and letting both teams have the ball multiple times. So if your defense don't stop in the first time, but they stop in the second time, he got mad because I said I would bet whoever won the toss.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, isn't that not fair? And I'm like, I don't care about that. I knew nobody was stopping anybody. Buffalo could have drawn something up and stopped them. They made them punt once. They didn't make them punt at all. That's not on the defense. I mean, it's not on the rule changes like right now. We're not changing the rule. I mean,
and when everybody's looking for a little edge here and a little edge there, isn't, being able to just, hey, I'll lay a little bit of juice, but this team who won the coin toss probably going to win when the offense has been rolling. There's a little edge that everybody's looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Now, CH, you've been listening to this shit all week long as well. Any thoughts, like, overtime's fine the way it is? I mean, Dave makes some great points right there. I think, before I throw it your way, CH, the one thing for me is when we talk about, the defense can make a stop. I mean, we spent the last decade changing the rules so everything goes the way of the offense. So I think that now it's, the defense has to make a stop even though all the rules go. I think that that's a little bit chintzy, but at the end of the day, there's two sides of the ball. There's special teams as well. And, as much as maybe the rules aren't skewed your way, it's still part of the game. And for what it's worth, the Bills were one of the top-ranked defenses, and look at what happened at the end of the year. So how much does defense really matter? CH, your thoughts on this whole overtime debacle?
Yeah, a couple of things for me. First of all, there should never be any tie in any professional sport anywhere at any time ever. Regular season, preseason, postseason, off-season, I don't give a shit when it is. There should never be a tie.
Never.
At least the NHL got rid of the ties. I don't like what they're doing either, but at least they got rid of the ties. As far as the NFL goes, look, the rule is the rule is the rule. This is what the rule is. The Chiefs got screwed 3 years ago. They should have changed it after that. They proposed for it to be changed after that, and it didn't get changed. It's still the wrong rule, but that's what's in place, so you got to play by the rules. My team benefited from it a few years ago. They should have changed the rule after that. If they don't change it this offseason, then they're just blind and deaf to everything that's going on around the world, right? Around the league. What they can't do, though, is they can't put another 15 minutes on the clock, especially in the regular season. The networks will never go for it.
Never.
You're going to play another hour? You can't do that. You've got games in other regions that they got to broadcast. So that'll never happen. But what they do have to do is make sure both teams get the ball once. It's simple. They don't even have to have a clock. You put a 40-second play clock on, just like all the time. But what do you need a clock for? It's next score wins, essentially. Why do you need a time? Just play until somebody wins.
I like that. No clock.
That's what I'm saying too.
Maybe you have 15 minutes, so they have to switch sides if there's weather or something. But then they just continue. It's not like it's the end of the game.
No, each team gets the ball once.
Yep.
If they both score, it's next score wins.
Yep. Exactly.
If nobody scores and one doesn't, they win. The game's over. If we trade field goals, next score wins.
The
next one. I love that.
It's not rocket science.
No, it's not. It's not. But the problem is, though, is if the NFL doesn't come up with the idea, they don't want to fucking hear it. How many things that the XFL, and I know, okay, it's the XFL, but how many things were they doing right as far as transparency, as far as, having a camera in the ref room, everything like that? Fans loved that, but because it wasn't the NFL who came up with it, well, we're not integrating that. That's leave that for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and the XFL when they come back. So I think that the issue is there's been a lot of great solutions that have been put out there, but it hasn't been the NFL's team of brilliant minds who are the ones that came up with it. And if they didn't come up with it, they don't want to hear it. The one that I heard that I thought was pretty cool as well, you put 10 minutes on the clock. You play out that 10 minutes. And once that 10 minutes is up, whoever has the lead wins it. If it's tied at that point, you throw another 10 on, next score wins. You know what I mean? Because why is it that the clock now becomes invalued when the clock is, clock management is one of the big tenets of football. You know what I mean? You have to properly manage the clock at the end of the game, have the timeouts right. But then when overtime rolls around, the clock is almost just ceremonial, is just up there because there has to be a clock running, make it the 10-minute period. Whoever leads at the end of that, like if you're leading at the end of a game, that's who win it. That would be my suggestion to do it, and the other thing that I thought too, and then we'll get into these games, guys, is this would never happen, but I would love to watch it happen, is like call it like pick your spot. So the two kickers, they meet at the middle of the field. And they just go back and forth. One of the dudes says, I can make it from 52 the left hash. I can make it. So they go back and forth saying, all right, no, I think you can make that. And then once the one of them calls their bluff, you can't make it from 60 yards from the right hash. That player then has to line up. They have to kick it. They make it. You win the game. They miss it. The other person wins the game. It's like the pissing contest. Whose dick is bigger? And it's the kickers just arguing at midfield.
But if the first kicker misses, he's going to chug a beer in case the other guy misses. And if they miss, they got to keep chugging beers until somebody kicks a field goal.
I like that. And whoever finishes the beer bong first, they win.
Miller Lite?
There ain't nothing wrong with Miller Lite, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with Miller Lite. All right, guys, let's get into it. There are games this weekend. After all, that's our thoughts on overtime. Everybody has them, so drop us yours on social media at Cash Consid Show. So let's get into it. We'll start with the Chiefs taking on the Bengals. And I got the name by the end of the season. I'm rolling now, but I kind of want to call them the Bengals because it just feels right. Chiefs,
people are starting to call them the Bengals.
I know.
They're not listening to the show, but I hear this Bengals all over the place now.
And now everybody just mentions Tom Brady all the time, too. We're really just infecting people's brains, and they don't even know it, but they don't listen.
You didn't hit the button. You
like,
said
subscribe, check us out. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I got too far into the gun. I wasted a little Tom Brady mention there. Cash it again. So 7-point chalk. I mean, with what we've learned about Joe Burrow and this Cincinnati Bengals team, they can give up 5,000 sacks in a game and still win. And we got a total of 54.5. Nobody can stop anyone, but still they don't put this total over 55. CH, I'll give you first crack at this one because you were one of the two hosts on this show that actually got a game right last weekend. I came with all these stats. I came with all these trends. I ain't doing none of that this week. You go find your own actionable info because I talked myself out of the fucking dogs that I loved because that's what the metrics told me to do. The metrics. Fucking ACH. I'm still pissed off about it. Chiefs 7, Bengals total 54.5. What's going on in this game, brother?
Yeah, I really like the Bengals, but in Kansas City, this Kansas City team is fucking good.
Yeah.
They are really good. I mean, Cincinnati's a good team. They're no Kansas City, you know? I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Cincinnati ain't no Jack Kennedy. You got to be really old to get that reference. That's why Dave gets it, and Newbie just kind of glassed over a little bit. Yeah, Kansas City's going to win this by more than a touchdown. It's going to be a good game, but they're not there yet, the Bengals.
So, Dave, I mean, I didn't think that they were there yet in the wild card round. I didn't think they were there yet in the divisional round. I mean, Chiefs, Bengals, you've been rocking the gear all week. You got the Joe Burrow glasses.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Stay there. Keep talking. Keep talking.
All right,
keep talking.
So I'll give my thoughts on this one, CH. I'm thinking about laying the chalk with the Chiefs, but I laid the chalk last week. I went with all the metrics. God damn. Did Joe Burrow just step in the studio?
Looks just like him.
Now, Dave, I'll reserve my thoughts. I was just trying to talk myself out of taking the Chiefs. Is there a case to be made for the Bengals? Because I number one, I don't think I'm going to be betting this game straight up. I unless I'm teasing it one way or another, I don't think I'm betting this game. But do the Bengals have a shot going on the road? I thought they didn't have a shot the last 2 weeks. So what the hell is going on? 7 points seems steep to me.
7 points seems steep, and it does. Feels steep to some. It doesn't feel steep to others. Okay. Since he just played Kansas City, January 2nd at home, they were 3.5-point dogs. It closed at home, and they won outright. Now we flip it to KC, and there's 7-point favorites. It's a right adjustment, is it? It's 10. It's favored by 3.5 at Cincy. That was the wrong number. Now I think we got the right number. The number's perfect. You're getting two-way action. Anytime you want to go below 7, you're going to get a bad guy come in on the Chiefs. anytime you want to go above 7, you're going to get a bad guy taking the Cincinnati Bengals plus 7.5. I know what I saw. I know what I see. Tyreek Hill is the fastest human being on grass. Like, he don't even look like he's in control of his own legs sometimes when he's running. He's making guys, they're back. You talk about us being back, bitches. The Chiefs are back. Kelsey back. Mahomes throwing that sidearm shit, all this stuff. It looked like he was doing the Matrix movie. Just bionic, whatever. All of that's it. I'm taking the Bengals. I think they cover the spread. I think the Bengals keep this game close enough within 7. Now, it's going to fall right around. But, the Chiefs will be up 7 or up 10 driving and kicking a field goal to go up 13 or some shit. And the Bengals will drive down and backdoor cover and lose by 6. I don't think it's going to fall right around there. So can the Chiefs cover? Of course they can. But I think the Bengals, he got sacked 9 times, dude. He got sacked 9 times. He got up.
Now, he was aided by the fact that Tannehill throws an interception on the first play of the game, the first play of the second half, and the last play of the game. So while I love me some Joe Burrow, let's be real, Tannehill was doing all he could to help out the second-year pro there.
He was, and this is the problem. I think that the Bengals will make adjustments to keep him upright and to keep him
that line is
on
just
the move.
Bad though. Like that once they invest in that offensive line, Dave, I mean, your Steelers better be
done.
The Ravens better, because this is a good fucking football team, skill player wise, man.
Listen, Ben's leaving, everybody's leaving, and just shit's going on. It's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me. You could turn the lights out on the Steelers worrying about. I mean, the Bengals have surpassed them. They kicked their ass twice this season. They're going to keep doing it. Cincinnati, that lid is pretty nice, but I'm taking them plus the points.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. Plus the points as well. I think they're going to keep it close. I don't know why I think they're going to keep it close. Everybody and their grandmother all week long is going to tell you lay the chalk with the Chiefs. That's going to be the square play. That's going to be the sharp play. That's going to be every play. But guess what? All the square plays lost last week. All the sharp plays lost last week. The only person who was making money was the people who were just going crazy contrarian, just taking all the points. I got to take the points with the Bengals as well. While we're also in the gun here, before we get to the Rams and 49ers, just in case people are catching this, whenever they're listening to it, in case you didn't see the news, I wanted to mention this, and I had it written down in the notes. I'm glad CH just reminded me in the chat. You guys both saw that Payton's out. He's stepping away from the New Orleans Saints. So, you're talking about the changing complexion there in the AFC North. Payton out there. So I'm just hoping that means it's another spot that Doug Peterson could potentially go to, because I will cry if he goes to the Giants, because I know that he'll end up winning a Super Bowl with the Giants just to stick it to Howie Roseman. So but before we get into the Rams 49ers, CH, you're the one who bring up the news. Does that move the needle for you? Does that make it more of a destination maybe for some free agents, knowing that it could be a blank slate there, or do you kind of got to wait to see who the head coach is before it really means anything to you?
They got to get a quarterback.
Jameis Winston, no?
Oh, man, come on.
I love Jameis Winston.
Come on. I mean, he did have a good, what was it, first 10 games or whatever it was until he got hurt. He did have a great start.
He's one of the most unintentionally hilarious people in the world, though.
Yes.
Like, he fucking – I love Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I can't see wanting to go there. I mean, even Jesus, he didn't play all year, so I'm drawing a blank. Michael Thomas, right? The receiver. Yeah. I don't even know what his contract status is. I don't know if he's a free agent. I mean, they don't. No. And they just give Taysom Hill all kinds of money.
Well, maybe they'll just hire what's that dude's name? Kevin James, who plays Sean Payton in the biopic. They'll just hire him as the coach, and now maybe Sean Payton can go be a mall cop somewhere. Be Paul Blart or deliver some mail or something.
Do you think
I would go see?
The question is to me is, does he go coach somewhere else, or is he stepping back?
I think he steps back.
What I saw is he wants a network job for a year, and then next year wants to come back and coach if he's going to coach again.
Because I think there's talk that like Troy Aikman, he might be getting the bag from Amazon and he'll go like do broadcasting stuff for Amazon. So maybe Payton's kind of eyeing sliding in where Aikman goes. It's a changing world, guys. It's a changing world. But hey, if we just broke some news for you, Sean Payton is out. He's gonna have to go pay people to I guess like injure people somewhere else. I don't know if they do that at like Walmart. If he's a Walmart greeter, if you can like pay people to, hey, just take somebody's legs out in the parking lot. I'll give you $50. I don't know. All right, boys. Rams, 49ers, 3.5. The Rams are favorites. Matt Stafford is laying points in a playoff game. How about it? How the times have changed. He's rolling all the narratives where he can't win a playoff game. He can't flip the script. Look at his numbers. Well, people, those numbers was when he played for the lowly Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? Like let's that's one of the things that I can't stand. Well, look at his career numbers with different coordinators, career numbers with different head coaches, career numbers with a completely different team, a completely different culture. Fucking hey, man, like narratives bit me in the ass last week, and I'm trying to wash my hands clean of them. They're taking on the 49ers. The total is 46. CH, I gave you first crack at the last game. So, Dave, you're wearing the Ram of Thorns gear. What are you thinking in this one? Stafford versus Garoppolo, just like we all pictured it.
All right. Another change. Okay.
This is now the third wardrobe change of the day. CH.
Just showed up. Listen,
It's like doing a show with friggin' Madonna. What the hell's going on here?
Canceled all her shows in Vegas. I could change this uniform shit just as good as any of these people. All right. This one just came. It's a little tight. I got to loosen this up, but it's a Niners hat.
Looks
and this
good.
is why. I'm taking them plus the points, newbie. I think numbers perfect. Round 3, right? We got this matchup twice. Apparently, McVay can figure out all this other stuff. He can't figure out how to beat Shanahan. You're going to give me 3.5 points? Like, I understand why the line is the line. But, and again, the public dog, all that other bullshit. Listen, San Francisco getting more than a field goal last week was a gift. I think it is again this week. Now, the last matchup they played, the Rams were kicking their ass. It's 17-0. It was early. It was run out. San Francisco's not even going to make the playoffs. Stafford has the WTF throw that Peralt dubbed, and I'm using all the time on every show. Means what the fuck was he thinking when he throws it? Pick. We're right back in it, and boom. The Niners win the game in overtime. Guess both teams got the ball then. Anybody talking about that? But San Francisco won, and they won a couple more road games. Got to complete the 3-team parlay. Road wins. It's tough. It's been done before. I think it'll be done again. I think San Francisco covers the spread. Now, they may not win, but I think it's a field goal game. I'm taking them plus the points.
CH, what are you thinking in this game? I mean, he makes some good points there, and also one of those narratives that's out there is this whole Shanahan versus McVay. He, might not be able to cover any games at home, but it seems like whenever these two face up, he's always getting the upper hand. What are you thinking when you look at this game? And again, a little low total, 46. I mean, I don't know if I'm placing over because of the pass rush that the 49ers bring into the game, but that total stood out to me a little bit. CH, what are you thinking about this game, brother?
Yeah, I think if you remember last week, I said I was trying to find a way to take the 49ers, and I couldn't bring myself to do it, and I wound up taking the Packers. I should have just trusted – I've got all this fucking data in front of me. That's what I do all day long is look at data and make projections, and I should have taken the fucking 49ers last week. I'm looking at that same data, and it's telling me to take the 49ers this week. So I'm taking the 49ers this week. I'm like – Dave, I think they could win, but I think it's a field goal game or a 2-point game. It's less than a 3.5-point game. Give me the Niners. But I have a question for both of you guys. Is Jimmy going to throw for more than 250 yards?
Ooh. I'd say no. I just think the pass rushes of both of these teams, I think it's going to be a really ugly game back and forth. You're actually, when we get into one total, one side, one prop, because of that, I'm looking for some field goal props in this game because I think points are going to be coming at a premium. I think there's going to be a lot of conservative play in this game. And typically you don't think of Sean McVay and think conservative. I think he's going to kind of try and change the script of what they do against this team. I think any time that these teams even get close to the red zone, it's not going to be trying to take these giant bombs. It's not going to be potentially fumbling the ball because of these tenacious pass rush defenses. I think that you're going to see a lot of trying to grind out the clock. And also before, I go this way and take the 49ers too, I need to know what's happening with Deebo Samuel because that's a completely different Niners team if Deebo Samuel is able to come around that end and be running that ball. So that's my thoughts as far as that, Dave. What about you, man?
I'm worried about Deebo. Deebo is fantastic. You want to talk about a fun guy to watch play football. But if Deebo don't play, Niners ain't got no shot. They ain't got no shot. They're going to have to win a game. But listen, they just won a game without scoring a touchdown. Jimmy G apparently is 9-2, 3-0 in the playoffs when he don't throw for a touchdown. San Francisco knows how to win games every which way. That's the most dangerous team you can get in these playoffs. I can't wait to watch the game. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. I'm excited. I think, and I'll save it for one total, one side, one prop. But the totals, I have pretty strong feelings. Again, last week I felt very strong. I thought the best play on the board was the Buffalo-Kansas City game over more than the sides. The sides are hard, and we can talk ourselves into, it's early in the week for us. And by the end of the week, you may feel different. Or you listen to too much bullshit and you switch your play. Don't do that. Just enjoy it like us. Enjoy the show, but make your own decisions. I think the game plays to the under too.
Now, CH, to maybe bolster the point that you were trying to make there as well, Jimmy Garoppolo opened in the mid to high 230s for his passing yards on the props. He's already down to 226.5. That is getting absolutely hammered. I think one of the things that I might do is I might let that get hammered all week, and then once that thing bottoms out, I might sweep in and hit the over just because you never know with the NFL. And when everybody's on one side, I don't mind being on the side that the books want. As far as this game goes, guys, the 3.5 I think is spot on because just like Dave said, I think because of the point premium, which is why you have this lower total, which is why you have the 3.5, that field goal that they don't want to give up that hook. I think this comes down to a field goal game. So this is one of those times that I would maybe hope that some Niners money comes in late because I like them at 3.5. I can't play the Rams at 3.5, but if that gets closer to 3, I would maybe look towards the Rams, or I think the Rams win this game. I think Stafford has enough that there's a lot of motivation there that just isn't there for any quarterback that's left to really just dispel a lot of things that people view about him. And he seems like the kind of guy that means something to him. And that's why he went to Los Angeles and have a chance at doing exactly that. I would maybe even look to play the Rams and lay a little bit of juice on the money line and take the points out of this thing because of how close of a game that it's going to be. It's not, an advantage play. They're going to tell you that it's a horrible way to manage your money. It's not the right statistical play or whatever. But if I could get the Rams at like minus 150 on the money line, it's 165 right now. That's probably the way that I would look at playing this game. Just take the points out of it, Dave. Does that make any sense?
Oh, for sure. I just want to know who they telling you. I got that who day on my mind. That's what they say.
I love the who day, by the way. There's who day, there's who dat. I'm a big fan of that one as well. All right.
So Nobi, before you go on, I just have a question. After an entire season of picking sides and every single game we talk about, are you saying in the very last game we talk about before the Super Bowl, you're not going to give us a side?
All right. So because it's 3.5 as it's sitting on Tuesday, like I said, at 3.5, I lean towards the Niners. I think the Rams win the game. For the show purposes, I'll take the 3.5 points with the dog because I think that this is going to come down to just like last week and the last possession is my thoughts. So,
every game, the last possession.
So I think we've established that I'm a little bit competitive.
You think?
A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. So as it stands right now, we have the same pick in the San Francisco game, and we have a different pick in the first game, Newbie. So if Kansas City wins, you and I are going to finish tied for the year.
Well, we still got the Super Bowl, though.
So I'm changing my pick to the Rams.
Oh,
Wow.
this just in.
Lay the chalk.
This just in.
How about that? Look at
I can't finish last. I can't.
Respect that. Well, you probably shouldn't have taken the hook with the team that's laying 3. But
I know, you're right.
we could also, CH, we could just say, screw it, and just say, Rams 40. So you think the 49ers are going to win the game, right?
No, I thought they were going to stay within the field goal.
All right,
yeah.
All right. Because I was going to say, I like the Rams money line. That's the way that we can do it. But I like it. How about CH flipping the pick, Dave?
Nah, fuck it. I'm keeping San Francisco. Fuck it. It's a unanimous pick. I'd rather have the unanimous pick.
If you thought this was breaking the rules, Dave, just wait until we get to this. Beautiful cash considerations, listeners. It's time for one total, one side, and one prize. That's right. We even have what are those called? Like a choreographer. That's what we have. We're like choreographed for that now. That's good. I hope you guys are putting your fingers up while you're listening as well for one total, one side, and one prop. Not those fingers, CH. So as it goes last week, our picks were probably about as good as your guys and gals that are listening in. I get my total right because I went back to the tout total, missed the rest. Dave hits both props he gave out. Gave out a 2-pack. He hits both of them, baby. Love it. CH, much like me in the gun, he gets shut out. So that means Dave is up first here in one total, in one side, in one prop. And I'll go second because you'll need a little palate cleanser before we send to CH because you guys are going to be like, newbie, first you want to change it to money line picks in the gun. Now you're doing this to us. Just wait. We're going off the rails here in Conference Championship weekend. It's one total. It's one side. It's one prop. And it's the Sportsbook Consigliere, Dave Sharapan.
Listen, if you people have been listening to the show this long or this many episodes in, you understand the deal. Sometimes we just make the shit up as we go. That's all good. It's one total, one side, one prop. But there's 2 games, so I'm going to give you both side and total in both games, okay?
Ooh.
I really think Kansas City's going to win. It pains me to say it. No, it doesn't. I like Kansas City. It's a fun team to watch, but it just, as far as getting new blood in there, like Buffalo was 13 seconds away, and we would have had Cincinnati and Buffalo in the AFC Championship. There's a higher thing working here. Kansas City got the field goal to tie. They win the toss. They go right down the field. Josh Allen ain't lost a toss all year. He called tails. It's heads. Boom. It's over. Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl. But I think it's close. I do. I think it's close. That's the side in the game. The total is over. It's over. It was over last week in Kansas City. It's over again. So my official total is over in this game. It's going over. Bad guys came in. They all played it under. They all, Dave, you needed overtime to get there. Bullshit. They needed the last 2 minutes. It was over. They got way over. They played a January 2nd again. Refer to that game. The total closed 51. All the odds makers, book guys, bag guys, every rhombuses, parallelograms, they were all wrong. It was 34-31 in Cincinnati. It's going over again. This is the style game we can expect. The other game, I don't have a goddamn clue who's going to win it sidewise. You just saw what CH did. He changed his pick twice in the same minute. Like, I don't know. I really don't. That's why the line is what it is. I could see why it would be fun for the Rams to be in it. I could see why it would be fun for the Niners to be in it. I'm good with either one, but I think you got to take the points. That would be my side. I just think it's a field goal game. And I don't want to pick against San Francisco again and watch him play that nasty-ass defense. Garoppolo go 3 and out, and then them driving to win the game. God forbid this thing's tied, and Jimmy G don't get to touch the ball. Stafford goes down and scores, and we got a whole nother week to discuss that bullshit. The under is the play in this one. I think it's a dead under game. Now, again, crazy shit's happen. We're going to get to that CH in Carl's Corner. We're going to talk about rules or all this other shit. The rule's the rule. There may be interference penalties. Jimmy G may throw a pick. It may happen and the game may go over. But I think you need all of that to happen for the game to go over. So the total in this game is under. Side up, again, take the points. My prop is coming from the first game, newbie. Went real deep, in-depth research for this one.
As always.
No, we didn't. Most passing yards championship Sunday. There's 4 choices. Burrow, Mahomes, Stafford, or Jimmy G. Somehow the biggest crime of the whole thing, Jimmy G's passing yards is him to have the most championship Sunday yards passing is only plus 470. People, that is wrong. Like, if you could know, he ain't going to pass for – he may not pass for more yards than Debo, for goodness sakes. Like, I can't believe they even offer that plus – that should be – there should 2 zeros missing from that price. Plus 470? But the one interesting to me is Joe Burrow, plus 170, okay? Now, Mahomes is plus 190. It's coming from that game, is it not? Stafford's plus 250. If you like the Rams and you like the over, Stafford to have the most passing yards plus 250, little sneaky play. And I know guys that are looking for props that are paying more than 220. I'm just saying, listen to the show. There's people looking for those props right now while we're actually on the show. So you need a prop. You go over $2. You like to find that plus. Stafford passing yards plus 250. I'm going Burrow. Plus 170. They're down. They're up. Either way, Joe B is passing the ball on Sunday. Mahomes may be handing it off a little bit. The Bengal defense a little iffy. Edward Hilaire, he don't have to throw for the most yards. Burrow has to throw for the most yards. There's my sides, my total, and my prop, Joe Burrow. I hit 2 props last week. I almost want to call it a damn walk-off. I'm glad the season's ending until we come up with a new segment. You know, make me do these goddamn props every week. Or if we do the show every day, people, we can't do the show every day. Just letting you know, like you listen to the show. We appreciate you. Listen to the show when we drop it Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. People listen to the show after the fact. It's an entertaining show. We can do it every day. Just letting you know. Back to you, sir.
Appreciate it. And I like the way that you lay out kind of that game script in that Cincinnati and Kansas City Chief game, because it kind of plays into some props that I'm looking at here as well. So I'll start with the total. And I told you guys you're going to be like, what the fuck, newbie? I don't like a total this week. I think Dave laid it out perfectly. Over in the KC game, under in the 49ers game. Because this game is playing to the under, I'm absolutely shattering the rules. Now, it does say total next to it, so it's going to be catching you in a semantic, but I'm not even doing a tout total. I'm going completely off the reservation. My total this week, hopefully there's room for it in the spreadsheet, CH. It's even money for Robbie Gould to have over 1.5 total field goals in the game. I think that this game plays to a field goal game. I've been eyeing these kicker props.
Ooh.
McPherson, his number isn't.
This kicker what props? Is that what you said?
Yeah, these kicker total props. I meant I slipped up for a second, but yeah, I mean, there's no defense on this one, CH. This is fully going off the reservation. There's no semantics. There's no Twitter poll that can save me on this one. This is through and through a prop that I'm giving as a total. Robbie Gould over 1.5 field goals. Like we've kind of laid out, I think that points are going to be at a premium. I would also look at Matt Gay. He's minus 105 over 1.5 total field goal, but my official one, we'll put it in air quotes, is going to be Gould. He's had 2 or more field goals in 8 of the Niners games this year, and he's gone over this total in 4 straight games. In his career, he's played the Rams on different teams 17 times, and he averages 2 field goals a game in those games.
Damn.
So give me Robbie Gould over 1.5 total field goals at even money. I'm also looking towards Matt Gay over, and I'm looking towards Evan McPherson over. No number on McPherson, though he's cashed this in like 4 straight weeks, and it was plus 125 when they were playing the Raiders. That was a beautiful thing. For the side, keep those eyes rolling, CH, because I'm doing a 2-teamer teaser. I think the games are going to be close this week. I'm taking the Bengals up to 13. I'm taking the 49ers up to 9.5. It's not wongable. I don't give a shit. I think both of these dogs are live. And last week, even when the dogs weren't live, guess what? They were fucking live. So I just think that, again, these games are going to end up being close. And also, depending on where you play your teasers, if they're not those advantage teasers, Dave, there's different prices at some shops. Now, on DraftKings, it's minus 120 no matter what you do. I was looking through Barstool Sportsbook. I was able to tease this game, this exact play that I'm given, 13 and 9.5 on Barstool Sportsbook. They gave me even money on it. So there ain't many even money teasers out there, whether they're advantage or not, Dave. So I took that one. CH, you can grade me at whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. Teaser Bengals up, 49ers up 9.5. And the prop for me is an actual prop. This is the one part of the segment that actually stays true to what this segment is.
This is the only part that fits into a spreadsheet. Do you see that he's literally losing his mind right now for the people watching.
A mess.
We're changing the segment to be one prop, and one prop.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens when it's the end of the year.
Put it in the notes.
So now the one prop in OPOPOP, Joe Mixon, I'm going under 60.5 rushing yards. It's minus 114 on DraftKings. I wanted my play officially on this show to be over his receiving yards, but that's not available yet. So I think that this kind of ties into what I'm laying out here. If the number for his receiving yard comes into like low to mid 40s, I'm going to be on the over all day long. Just the way
probably be 40, won't it? I was going to think 40.5, right?
That's what I would think. And I would love the over, even if you're laying a little bit of juice, because the way this team uses Mixon has completely changed, and it has been a godsend for him. He used to be a bell cow, getting over 20 yards or 20 carries per game. Yeah. He hasn't gone over 20 carries since November. So the way that they're using this player has completely changed. Since the start of December, he's only gone over this number one time. That was a game that they were winning 41-21 against the Ravens. I don't think that this game's going to play into that game script where you're just running the ball with Joe Mixon. Devil's advocate point, the Chiefs are 31st in the league on yards allowed per rush. So it could be a way to attack them. I just don't think it will be the way they attack him. I think the script is in favor of him staying under this number. So under 60.5, minus 114 on DraftKings. Joe Mixon rushing. My sides are Bengals up to 13.5, 49ers up to 9.5, and the total prop is Robbie Gould over 1.5 total field goals. I'm sorry, CH. This spreadsheet is still sanctamount and the most beautiful thing that I have ever seen. But good luck putting those plays.
You blew it up.
It's destroyed. He's just gonna draw a line through it and say, "Fuck this guy." CH.
The numbers, guys.
Your total.
He's losing his mind.
So
go ahead, CH.
So I don't have any problem putting them in the spreadsheet. It's just whether I want to or not is the question.
It's the principle of the thing. So, CH, what is your play in one prop, and one prop here?
I'm not giving one prop, and one prop. I'm going to give one total, one side, and one prop.
That's a novel idea.
That's a great idea for a segment. We should think about that for next year.
People should stick to that. That's a good idea.
By the way, I'm giving you a two-team teaser minus 120, which is what I was going. If I was to bet it right now, that's what they gave me. So minus 120.
160. Who cares?
Yeah. Oh, wow. So keeping it simple. I already said I think the Chiefs are going to win by more than 7. That's my side. I think that's a no-brainer. My total, I switch back and forth on this one because I don't know that Cincinnati's going to score enough for both teams to get up to 54.5 points. But I don't think San Francisco is going to score enough for this game to get up to 46. I think that's where my concern is, even though I just picked San Francisco to win the game. I'm going with the Rams in San Francisco under 46. My prop, now I like the props this week because there's a lot of Super Bowl type props up there already. Yes. We got the big guy touchdown. We got the anybody else but a quarterback to throw a touchdown pass. Mm-hmm. I asked you guys about Jimmy G going over 250 yards because there is a prop for all 4 quarterbacks to go over 250, and he'd be the one I'd be concerned about. And
what's the price?
It was plus 500.
5
so
to
it might
1.
be worth. Yeah.
All 4 quarterbacks.
All 4 to go over
for,
250.
I mean, the Burrow prop is close to that number, right?
Yep.
Mahomes is over that number, right?
Mahomes is over. I think the other, they're both over in the.
And Stafford's probably over that number,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So I might sprinkle on that, but for the show, because I still have to beat newbies plus 215 that I've been trying to beat for about feels like 75 weeks now. I'm going with what I think is a no-brainer, and that's Cooper Kupp to have the most receiving yards this week at plus 225. I just really think that, when you look at the rest of the I don't have it up anymore, but I think that the other teams are going to spread the ball around a little bit more. And the Rams, Jesus, I just hope they blitz. I just hope they blitz the Rams a couple of times and leave the best receiver in the league wide open to run down the middle of the field heading into friggin' overtime like a bunch of morons like Bowles did the other day. But that's my prop. So I'm going with Cooper Kupp to have the most receiving yards at plus 225. Rams in San Francisco under 46, and Kansas City -7 from my one prop.
There we go. As the season has gone on, I've completely bastardized what was a beautiful segment. But that's what we do here on the Cash Considerations production. And boys, I guess this is one of the last times that we're going to get to hear it. This has been down with a new segment, OP. The most rootin' tootin' football segment is out of the Mississippi. Coming to a close. Hope you enjoyed Cousin Cooter. Must have been a funeral here down south because, man, I all dressed up. I ain't never worn a tie before. Back to you, Dave. I'm starting to run out of oxygen with this bad boy.
Catch your breath. You got 30 seconds for the transition to the second to last segment on the show. We got to do it. We're going to do it real fast. Do we got time for it? Make a decision right now, yes or no. We're good?
I'm good.
We won't go deep, but we, again, appreciate everybody listening to the show. Follow the show on the Twitter at Cash Consid Show. Email the show, cashconsidshow@gmail.com with any comments, questions, concerns. Thank you, Rascotti, Anthony, for leaving a great review. Guys, if you have the time, go on and just leave a quick review. Hit the stars rating. Whatever you put is fine. Doesn't really matter, but we appreciate, obviously, the higher rating. If you like the show, go on and do that. Tell your family and friends to do the same thing. Apparently, it bumps us up on these lists, and we really appreciate that. One of our favorite segments on the show. We got to go. We got, newbies all dressed up. He's got to get out of here, so we're going to tighten this stuff up. But newbie, take us back, not to Cooter's place, to that other place.
That's right, Dave. And for the first time, I actually kind of looked the part for this sultry voice I'm throwing your way. I'm tied up, and it's time to get tied up in Carl's Corner. Everybody's bitching about the rules. What do you got for us, Mr. Carl Hascall?
Oh man! Actually, before we go there, Dave, I'm gonna date us here a little bit. But you remember back when Ed McMahon would take a night off every once in a while, and Doc Severinsen would fill in, and he would introduce Johnny. I think sometime in the next few weeks, maybe announcer boy's got to take a day off, and Cousin Skeeter can come in and introduce Carl's Corner. That would be fun.
Oh,
that's not a bad idea. Carl's Corner's a little classy for Cousin Cooter.
But that would be fun.
Our sleeves are required in Carl's Corner.
Yes, sleeves are tie optional, but that will be fun. I'm looking forward to when you drop that on us in a couple of weeks and catch us off guard. So for Carl's Corner today, we kind of hammered the overtime rule in the NFL a little bit earlier here, and we don't have to rehash that whole conversation. But something I've had on the list for a while is rules we would like to see changed in all of the sports or any sport. Mm-hmm. I think this overtime rule has been, for me, it's been kind of on the top of the list once they started having overtime. I guess ever. Just get rid of the ties, like I said before, right? Mm-hmm. Especially in the playoffs. I mean, you can't we hammered that already, but I'm curious from you guys what other rules you'd like to see now. I've got 4. I've got one in each of 4 different sports here, so I'll go last. So Dave, you've been around as long as I have almost. You've seen rules come and go. What do you have for rules that you see in some of these other sports you'd like to see changed?
So the first rule I'd like to see change is the people that listen to the show and communicate with us on the Twitter. Just tag us, just let us know, because I miss a lot of the shit, but I appreciate all you listening to the show. We're checking on everybody, Ringo and the boys and all Shawno. Football, change the damn interference rule. It's pretty simple. The pass interference rule has to be changed in the NFL. Use the college one, use something, anything that we can help the defense out a little bit. I think we've gone too far the other way. So I think that has to be the change. For me in hockey, having the shootouts decide the games, I understand why you do it, but you can't do it for real. We can't go back to the tie. So maybe we keep the shootouts, but we got to make the wins worth more than the shootout wins. So we go to the soccer thing, 3, 2, and 1 point system, because when you look at the NHL standings, they're so jumbled up and it's teams playing for ties. Enough of that shit. Basketball, somebody call traveling. I sound old, so just somebody fucking call traveling. Seriously. I don't know anymore about the traveling rule. The other one for football would be a catch. I don't know what a football move is anymore. I don't know what a fucking catch is anymore. I'm watching the games. It looks like it's a catch, and I listen to Pereira or Sterator or somebody say, he didn't make a football move. He didn't hold the ball. It's a catch, it's a catch, it's a catch. Enough with that bullshit. And then baseball, I tried to think about it, and I was like, damn, bro, there's enough rules in baseball. I don't know if I want to change it. I couldn't think of one rule that I wanted to change. I was like, there's too many damn rules in this shit now. So I don't know what the rule I would change would be in baseball. Back to you, sir.
I got a rule in baseball, but we're going to save me for last. Newbie, even lacrosse. Maybe there's a lacrosse rule that we don't know about. What have you got for rules you want to see change?
I love the way that lacrosse does the rules. A lot of running clocks, a lot of you're able to dump the ball into another zone and things like that. There's one that was so fucking stupid. It actually ended up costing Notre Dame a win against Duke. A guy was playing and his shoe came off on the way to the goal. He ends up scoring the goal. The goal was disallowed because he was playing without equipment. If anything, it was more impressive that his shoe fell off and he went and scored. I get it if his glove fell off or his helmet came off. His fucking shoe fell off. And it shows you I had money on Notre Dame. I'm not bitter about that at all. But for me, I knew that you guys were going to go deep in, so I kind of did one a little bit more off the reservation. And I think it is the way, and we'll probably get into this in the weeks in between when the Pro Bowl's coming. I think it's the way they can save the Pro Bowl in the NFL. Oh. You change it to flag football, and the players are allowed to play whatever position that they want. So you could have linemen playing quarterback, playing wide out, and you just make it 4-on-4, 7-on-7, something like that.
Everybody eligible.
You change it to flag football. Everybody's eligible on the play. Trick plays. You can have, guest quarterbacks. You can have alumni that they're the all-time quarterback on the team. So you got Mike Vick as the all-time quarterback. You're flipping sides. I think if they just simplify the thing, stop making it football, because the Pro Bowl is not football anymore. Nope. Make it flag football. Cut it down to 7 versus 7. Everybody's eligible on every play, and you just let people play out of position. It'll be more fun. It'll just be, you can tie in different things. You can have celebrities in it as well. You could have, an East versus West. You could have old timers versus new timers. It's a lot more fun. It's a better way to do it. And I also love flag football. I think that could save the Pro Bowl. So that's the big change that I would make, CH, because I knew that you guys probably had more specific things, and I agree with every of the ones that Dave said, and I'm sure I'm going to agree with the ones that you have. So flag football for the Pro Bowl, guys. That's my idea.
It keeps the dream alive, too, of Newbie getting in the game.
That's all. Yeah, I didn't want to say that. I was trying to, keep that under the surface. That was the ulterior motive. You know what I mean? If that was Game of Thrones, that was the reason I was putting the conversation out there,
We could start stuffing the ballot boxes at Newbie Talks on the Twitter.
Exactly.
Start this. You're already building up a huge following, putting on your food pictures all over social media and the Instagram. You could get in the game. He could be the backup defensive back. It's a lockdown corner out there. He's killing people in Reading. Every week he sends us the stats. You should probably start tweeting that shit too.
The stat line. So, CH, that's my big change. And shocker, it probably doesn't fit the format. So that's my one prop here in Carl's Corner.
Why start fitting the format now, Newbie?
Yeah, exactly.
Why start now? So, Newbie, do you know who Robert Edwards is?
Robert, I named
probably not, because this happened in 2001, Dave. It's going to come back to you eventually here. Robert Edwards was the 18th pick in the 2001 draft for the Patriots. He was a running back. As a rookie, he ran for 1,100 yards, and he made it to the Pro Bowl. And at the Pro Bowl, they had I think it was 4-on-4 beach football. And Robert Edwards leapt up in the air to catch a pass from Charlie Batch, the Lions quarterback. And when he came down, he tore his ACL, his PCL, his MCL, his AFL-CIO, his FBI. He tore everything. He was never the same again. So, on your suggestion,
I don't have to do it on a beach. I didn't say do it in fucking sand. Get some cleats on. Shit, they're playing in flip-flops, CH.
That was flippity flop. There you go. You're watching.
We're reading.
All right, I'm going to go through my rule changes here real quick so that we can get out of here. So, number one, this is a basic one for me, and it's stupid. It happens once or twice a year where it comes into play. But on the PGA Tour, if a guy signs his scorecard with an incorrect score on it, he gets disqualified. Why the fuck are they keeping track of the score in their back pocket when we've got all this other fucking technology keeping track of scores? So that one is stupid. Dave, I agree with you in the NHL about the shootout. Just play 3-on-3 forever. There's no way a game's going to go more than 10 minutes 3-on-3 without a goal being scored. I think I looked at it last year, if I remember right. I think it was like 60% of the overtime games were finished in the 3-on-3 and didn't go to the shootout. Play another 5 minutes. I think that gets rid of the shootouts altogether. Yep. My rule change for the NBA, 2 timeouts a quarter, period. That's it. Whoa. Fourth quarter takes way too fucking long. The last 5 minutes of a basketball game, I can watch an entire football game, skipping the 30 seconds in between plays. I can watch an entire football game in the time it takes to play the last 5 minutes of a basketball game. That's stupid. But my big one, and I think it's going to finally happen. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. I think we're going to finally see it this year. We're done with the pitchers batting. It's terrible. They don't hit. It's like having your quarterback kick your field goals. It's horrible. It's like having your goalie shoot on the shootout on the other goalie. It makes no sense. Only 2 of them can hit. Scherzer and one other guy who I can't even remember. Is Bumgarner still playing? Bumgarner used to be able to hit.
Yeah, he's a good hitter.
But that's it. None of the pitchers can hit. I think we're going to see universal DH once this lockout is settled this year, and that will be a relief because we'll see more offense, and that's what we all want to see anyway. Chicks dig the long ball, so let's get the DH in the whole league. And those are my rule changes, and that is Carl's Corner.
That it is, Dave. That's Carl's Corner, which means one piece of business left. I think if I give out any more props, Carl might take me in that corner and beat me in that corner. Back to you, Mr. Consigliere.
Oh, God. I was going to open up a whole can of worms. Shelf this one for a future Carl's Corner, a rule change. Did you guys watch the UFC fights over the weekend? Did either of you stay awake and watch them? Newbie, you watch it. Carl, did you watch it?
No, I was driving.
Driving, that's right. You were coming back. Okay. So putting up the scores as we go in fighting would be unbelievable, and it would change everything where everybody knew, including the corner guys, so if you put them in Carl's Corner, at least you can tell them, hey, man, look, you're down 5 rounds. You got to go knock this motherfucker out. Otherwise, we're going to lose. Instead of waiting till the end and then having some judge that pre-scored the fight with, 10-9, 10-9, 10-10, 10-9, 10, and then they hand it in. And everybody's accountable, and the fighters know, along with their corner people, where they stand. So keep that in mind. It's a good future discussion. We'll keep that on the back burner. What we won't keep on the back burner is, again, thank you for listening to the show this long. We hope you approve, again, go rate it, review it, whatever. But we always save this segment for last. It's everybody's favorite. I mean, the Carl's Corner. No, this is the Take a Minute segment. All right, where we each get a minute plus bet over. Newbie, what did Bama Mafia guy say that one time about the show? What did he say?
Sometimes when I think really hard, I hear it.
This is an over show, boys.
Yeah, always take the over.
Goddamn right it is. It's an over show. But thank you again, whether you're listening multiple days on the 1.5 speed. We sound really fast. I've listened to the show on 1.5 speed. It's hilarious. And it's actually, when you listen to like Cousin Cooter on 1.5, it is really goddamn funny. You rewind it and listen to it again. Anyhow, take a minute segment. All right, we're going to go to CH first. The newbie's got to get ready. He's going to go do the game. We're going to mention where he's going to do the game and all that stuff when it's his turn to speak. But you have really ramped up. I mean, like the email preparation, the coordinating producer role has grown leaps and bounds. I mean, you've completely taken the reins of this thing. I really appreciate it myself. I know the listeners do as well. Social media manager. Email guy. Again, now people were emailing the show. Again, thanks again to the boys that have done that. And obviously the co-host of the show. Your Take a Minute segment starts in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so speaking of that, thanks for the segue, Dave. I just wanted to thank everybody who's reached out to us, however they reach out to us. I was just checking as Dave was doing his intro. We got a couple more reviews on the iTunes or whatever that is, a couple of great reviews. So if you listen to the show, you like the show, leave us a review. We'd really appreciate it because that'll help us out a lot. And all of you who interact with us, whether it's Twitter or email or, the comments on the YouTube, we're going to hit a magic number of 666 subscribers today, Ooh. I think, on the YouTube. So, but thanks to everybody who leaves comments on there. I know I try to jump on there a couple times a week and interact with you guys. If you, bash our Rams picks or you have something to say, we really appreciate it. And I just want to encourage anybody who wants to interact with us. As long as you agree with us, go ahead and email us. If you don't agree with us, well, you can email those two guys, and I'll give out their email addresses offline. But thanks to everybody for listening, and more importantly, thanks for interacting with us. It's a lot of fun. I can tell you, I'm a little bit of an insomniac, so I usually wake up around 3:45 in the morning, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm trying to go back to sleep, and that's usually when I pull out the phone and see what kind of interaction we got going on. So if I do respond to you in one of those areas, and it's a little bit, confusing to read, it's probably because it was 4 in the morning and I was a little disoriented. But thanks to everybody for listening, and thanks for all your feedback.
Excellent work, sir. Keep that in mind. It's either, waking up because he's an insomniac or waking up to take a leak. I mean, as you get on the north end of 50, that's what you do. I do it all the time. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And, again, I reiterate everything that CH just said. Thank you for listening to the show. All right. Cousin Cooter, Monkey Jizz guy. Nothing wrong with Miller Lite, man. Now he's in a play-by-play guy of a high school basketball game. He's supposed to be the color guy. He does the color for the football. He's doing the basketball. He's wearing a tie. Hair's perfectly slicked back. Dan Newbert's his name, but he goes by Dan Alexander. He's at Newbie Talks on the Twitter. The executive producer of this show, obviously co-host of the show, and the man of many voices. Newbie, your Take a Minute segment starts in 3, 2, 1.
So I just wanted to take this time to give out some props that I really like this week in the NFL. I'm just kidding, CH. I just wanted to dedicate the short little bit. If you ever want to reach out to me on Twitter at Newbie Talks, we're getting into the doldrums of the sports calendar. Some people, they absolutely love NHL. They absolutely love basketball. Like, basketball is a close second for me, but it's football. And once that starts going by the wayside, I have a lot more free time during the evenings to be checking out maybe some different TV shows, some different movies. So I love talking about shows and films and music and things like that, outside of just the things that we talk about here on the show and that every show is talking about. So just some quick suggestions. If you have Netflix and you're looking for some new shows and you haven't seen Stranger Things yet, that one's obviously like kind of a no-brainer. The new season of Ozark just dropped. Jason Bateman, Laura Linney. I'm not giving any spoilers. Spoiler free here, so no worries. Hear no evil. Season 2 already incredible. So no spoilers, but that's well worth a look. Ozark season 4 actually is what's out now. Terrific stuff. It's incredible acting. Just very much like heart pounding. If you like Breaking Bad, if you like The Sopranos, You're going to love Ozark. Righteous Gemstones, if you're looking for a little palate cleanser after that. It's like a mystery kind of show that's starring Adam Devine. Who else is it? Danny McBride. John Goodman is in the show as well. And they're like these preachers who open up like these mega churches, and they're making money, and there's some creepy stuff going on behind the scenes. It's funny. It's suspenseful. It's good. And if none of that works for you, if you have Netflix, Seinfeld is back on Netflix. Go with the rewatch of Seinfeld, because this shit, some of the episodes make you cringe because they haven't aged so well, but the comedy has aged incredibly. So plenty of shows out there. If you need any more suggestions, drop me a line on Twitter. Would love to hear some of your favorite shows as well. When football season concludes, what do you start watching? At Newbie Talks, at Cash and Sid Show on Twitter. What's up, CH?
Righteous Gemstones, filmed all over Charleston, South Carolina. Oh, yeah, everything. Danny McBride lives down there. That's why they shoot the whole thing.
Have you seen it at all?
I have not, but there was a sub shop right up the street from where we stayed. They had about a 50-foot mural of the Righteous Gemstones painted.
That's incredible.
I got to get the picture, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And it's funny. It's suspenseful. It's, the back and forth with some of these guys and gals on the show. It's fucking hilarious. So, Dave, if people are looking for some stuff when sports kind of go by the wayside a little bit, if that's how it is, they know they can get us here at Cash and Sid Show. We're always trying to help out the people. For the people, K. Walsh.
I love it. I love it. I don't watch any of it. I ain't got no goddamn time because I'm on 100 different goddamn shows a week. It's crazy right now what's going on with the sports and the content and the gambling. But I appreciate that as well. I love movies. I love shows. I just tried to write all those down. I'm going to actually have to read the notes to see all the recommendations because I got a very limited amount of time that I can stay awake after I'm done doing all the shows or pitching batting practice to the kids or going to a softball tournament, which I'm doing here in Vegas this weekend. For you people in cold places, it's warm here. We got a big softball tournament this weekend for the kids. So we'll be doing that. And Big Consig makes her college softball debut this weekend. We got Friday, Saturday games. Trying to figure out how to get down to the field and do the shows at the same time. A lot of moving parts in all of it, but very exciting times. Thank you for those recommendations as well. Not to mention the food recommendations. People follow the kid to see the damn food recommendations. That feast you put out on Sunday, I was like, I thought your parents were going to lock you in that house. They never let you leave. And you're like, no, that's just for me and my brother and his girlfriend. I'm like, what? That's big newbie coming back. Like, there was enough food there to feed.
There was leftovers. I packed it up. We sent them elsewhere, and I still have like 4 pounds of pork left. So I made like pork tacos yesterday. I'm gonna make some stuff with it's incredible, guys. Like I'm learning how to become a smoker master in just a short amount of time.
I'm looking for a smoker deal.
Yeah,
looking for a smoker deal. So people, if you know anybody that knows the smoker people and this and that, get him in touch. He's at Newbie Talks and email the show cashconsidshow at gmail.com. We're trying to get the smoker deal because between you showing all them pictures and cooking that meat, there's a lot of people talking. Anyhow, all right, so my Take a Minute segment starts right now. So a couple things, obviously, big games this weekend. But like Newbie just said, like we're more than just about picks and about, sports. And we're trying to bring a whole different type of fun with the gambling information included. And, this has been my life. Somebody asked me today, when did I do my first parlay card? I think I was 10. Like they were called tip sheets. I think the kid's dad was a bookie. And he said, hey, show this to your friends. And I was like, oh, God, look at this. I can pick 4 games because there's a 4-game minimum. Every spread was either 3, 7, or 10, and ties lose. And for all that, I think they gave you 5-1. They were fucking people back then. But it was fun to do. And it was like, a part of our lives. So, like, I've been around it my whole life. But the other thing, like we're putting out there and the tweets and all this stuff, like we're growing. Again, thank you for all of it. We got subscribers on the YouTube channel. The boys are rapidly, again, Newbie's almost at 1,000 subscribers. CH is rapidly approaching 400. We're growing together. We're doing a bunch of things. But my Take a Minute segment is just going to be a quick rant. Every morning, not every morning, but almost every morning now, I'm driving Mrs. Consig to work. And the two of us has treated it like a date. But a lot of times she's too busy on the social media catching up on her shit because she goes to work and she's saving lives. now I'm working, I'm doing media. I ain't saving nobody's life, but I'm trying to help people and talk and having fun. And hopefully it's a, respite for some people that are going through some tough things and this and that. So I do the videos and all this other stuff. I pull up today to her work, and there's a van. Actually, it's like a Pathfinder Armada, something like this, right in the front of the office. She goes to work in this office environment now. It's parked in between the lines. It's taken up 2 spaces right in front. Now, she works at a place where there's a clinic where people go in and get treatments for cancer, where they go in and sit and like get the IVs and all this other stuff. Now, I don't know who she was, and I know it was her because I saw her walking later, and I was like, lady, you got to park in the lines, all right? That's why the lines are there. It's one of the most annoying things in the world to me when you go park. Like we talk about lines all the time in the book, right? And I see these parking lines. When you go to the book, you don't get to like pick your line or which line you're in or whatever. The line is there. People, go in the lines, follow the lines, okay? That's all I got. Nobody knows shit. That's the end of the show. That's the end of the Take a Minute segment. And that's the end of the Cash Considerations podcast this week. For the boys, thank you very much. He's at Newbie Talks again, executive producer, co-host of the show. Carl Hascall, at Carl Hascall on the Twitter, the coordinating producer, the social media manager, and the email guy, obviously the other co-host of the show. Myself, Dave Sharapan, Sportsbook Consigliere, Consig, at SportsBK Consig on the Twitter. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you all listening, watching on the YouTube channel, Cash Considerations Podcast on the YouTube. Thank you. We'll be back next week